Okay, we do appear to be having an audio problem with his speech there, so we will get back to that as soon as we can, but want to bring Douglas Herbert back in here. Going back to his comments, Bolsonaro's comments about wanting to unite the country, we heard the same thing exactly out of Donald Trump after. We do have Haddad now, sorry about that, so we will take you to him now. This is runner-up Fernando Haddad speaking.
I would like to pay tribute to the members of parliament and the senators. Because of my training and background, I would like to thank my predecessors. I have learnt from them the value of courage in defending justice. And my ancestors, I'd like to pay tribute to my parents, grandparents. They taught me that courage is a great value in a society and that all the other values depend on courage. I would also like to thank all the parties that have supported us, all the people who have worked hard to bring us to the second round, and over 45 million people have voted for us today, which represents a very large part of the Brazilian people. Now we must respect. There is a majority which has won the election, but they have a different project for Brazil. But the 45 million voters who followed us all the way to today, some are members of non-profit organizations and parties. We have celebrated democracy in Brazil. We have seen people in the streets with their families and friends, and who have started distributing leaflets across the country, or sticking posters on the walls, or showing signs to change the country after the first round of the elections. I think that it's very important that people should become aware of what was at stake. The stakes have been very high for a long time. We have experienced a period with some very difficult moments. The constitution of the country has been challenged in 2016 when President Dilma was deprived of her authority, and then the unjust imprisonment of President Lula, the refusal to allow Lula to stand for re-election in contravention of the recommendations of the United Nations. In spite of that, we moved forward. We went across the whole of the country, in the suburbs, in the towns, in the countries. We talked to young people, whites, blacks, Catholics, women, evangelists, evangelicals, those who support African religions, the descendants of those religions. We talked to everybody, and we conveyed a very important message. National sovereignty, democracy, as we see it, are values which are above us. We are a nation. We're going to defend our nation in the face of those who, without any respect, will want to usurp the heritage of the Brazilian people. We see democracy not only as a formal exercise or in the Brazil of today. Political rights of workers are at stake today. So we have an enormous task ahead of us in Brazil. In the name of democracy, we will have to defend the freedoms, the rights of the 45 million Brazilians who supported us in this election. We are under the obligation to form an opposition that puts the national interests above all other considerations. We have a commitment to the prosperity of this country. We helped build democracy in Brazil, one of the largest democracies in the world. We have a commitment. We must support this committee. We mustn't give in to threats and provocations. You will see that the nation I would like to remind you of the words of our national anthem. Don't fear commitment to freedom. We have a long tradition of advocating public life, the defense of public life. We have a long tradition of elected officials. We will not let Brazil down. We will put Brazil above all other interests. We will defend our points of view in line with democracy and the Constitution. We will continue to express our views. The stakes are very high, and we must understand what those stakes are. We must have faith in the future. We will continue our fight. We will talk to people. We will reconnect with the grassroots, the poor, in order to draw up a new national program. We will raise awareness of the people. In 4 years' time, there will be fresh elections. We must protect our institutions. We will not give up our work, our jobs. We will continue to defend our citizenship. We will exercise our citizenship permanently, and Brazil needs this more than ever, needs citizenship more than ever before. I'm convinced of that. I have spoken and speak to millions of people who put their country above their personal interests. I would like to say to the people I have met all over the country that I have felt their fear, their apprehensions, but don't be afraid. We will be there. We will be at your side. We will defend your cause. Be courageous. Life calls for courage. For Brazil. Long live Brazil.